Right now, there are trucks sitting on dealer lots, unsold, ignored, practically collecting dust that will outlive you, me, and probably whatever's left of your New Year's resolutions. Dealers can't move them. Salesmen walk right past them. But retirees? Oh, retirees are loading these things up for under $6,000 and laughing all the way to the lake house. Today, I'm exposing the 3 unkillable trucks that nobody's talking about. And honestly, after this video, you might want one too.
So let's kick things off with a truck that has sold more units than McDonald's has sold burgers. Okay, maybe not that many, but honestly, it feels close. The 2012 Ford F-150. Now, before you roll your eyes and say, oh great, another F-150 video, hear me out, because this isn't just any F-150. This is the one that dealers genuinely cannot get rid of right now, and the reason is almost hilarious. See, everyone wants the newer ones, the aluminum body, the fancy screens, the turbocharged EcoBoost that sounds like a fighter jet in a school zone. So the 2012? It just sits there, price tags dropping like autumn leaves, and that, my friend, is where the magic happens for anyone with a brain and a budget. The 2012 F-150 sits in the 12th generation, and by this point, Ford had already been building this platform for 3 years. That means the early kinks from the 2009 redesign were ironed out, the engineers had their coffee, and everything just worked. Now here's what makes this particular year so special. You get 3 engine options that all have proven themselves in the real world, not just on a spec sheet. You've got the 3.7-liter V6 for the folks who want decent power without feeding a V8's appetite, the legendary 5.0-liter Coyote V8 for those who believe displacement is a personality trait. And honestly, I respect that. And then there's the 3.5-liter EcoBoost twin-turbo V6 that Ford introduced the year before, which by 2012 was already showing the world that a V6 could tow like a V8 while sipping fuel like it had somewhere better to be. The Coyote 5.0 in particular is an absolute workhorse. We're talking 400 horsepower, 360 pound-feet of torque, and a track record of hitting 300,000 miles without breaking a sweat. There were guys running these engines in the desert, on farms, through Canadian winters that would make a polar bear file a complaint, and the trucks just keep going. Now, the body. This is a full steel body, none of that aluminum stuff that came later in 2015. And look, the aluminum is great, I'm not knocking it, but there's something about a steel-bodied F-150 that just feels like shaking hands with your grandfather. Solid, reliable, and it's not going anywhere. The frame underneath is fully boxed hydroformed steel, which in non-engineer language means Ford took a piece of steel and said, you will not bend, you will not flex, you will carry everything and complain about nothing. And it listened. The 6-speed automatic transmission in this truck is the 6R80, and if you know anything about Ford transmissions, you know this one is a gem. It shifts smooth, it holds up under towing stress, and unlike some of its competitors at the time, I won't name names, but their initials rhyme with Shudge, it doesn't feel like it's having an existential crisis every time you go uphill with a trailer. The 2012 also came with electric power-assisted steering, which means fewer hydraulic components to fail, a slightly better fuel economy bump, and a steering feel that honestly aged better than most trucks from that era. But here's the thing I really want you to understand. The aftermarket support for this truck is absolutely absurd. Need a part? It exists. Need it cheap? It's cheap. Need a YouTube tutorial to install it? There are probably 47 of them uploaded by guys named Dave in their driveways, and every single one of them works. This is not a truck where you're calling a specialist or ordering parts from overseas. Everything is available, everything is affordable, and everything is well documented. For a retiree, or anyone really, who wants to do basic maintenance in their garage on a Saturday morning, this is about as good as it gets. Now, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't tell you what to watch out for, because no truck is perfect, not even this one. First and foremost, if you're looking at a 2012 with the 3.5 EcoBoost, check the timing chain in the turbo system carefully. The early EcoBoost engines had some reported issues with timing chain stretch, especially on trucks that went long intervals between oil changes. If the previous owner treated oil changes like dentist appointments, something they know they should do but keep postponing, walk away. Second, keep an eye on the cam phasers, particularly on the 5.0 Coyote.
A ticking noise on cold start can be an early sign of cam phaser wear, and while it's not the end of the world, it's a repair bill you want to negotiate into the price, not discover in your driveway. Third, check the front suspension components. Ball joints and tie rod ends on high-mileage F-150s from this era tend to wear, especially if the truck saw any off-road duty or spent its life bouncing around on rough roads. A quick inspection underneath will tell you everything you need to know. And finally, give the brake system a serious look. Rotors on these trucks can warp if they were towed hard or driven aggressively downhill, and replacing all four corners adds up quick if you're not expecting it. But here's the bottom line. For under $6,000, you are getting a truck that was the best-selling vehicle in America for decades, backed by one of the most bulletproof engine lineups Ford has ever produced, with parts so common they practically fall from the sky. Retirees are buying these quietly because they've been around long enough to know that the best deal on the lot isn't the shiniest one. It's the one everyone else is too distracted to notice, and right now, that's the 2012 F-150. But if you think Ford is the only one making trucks that refuse to die, well, you clearly haven't met our next pickup on this list.
Now, I just told you the F-150 refuses to die, and that's true. But what if I told you there's a truck out there that entire governments trust with their lives? Not metaphorically, literally. I'm talking about a pickup that has been dropped into war zones, driven across African deserts, sent up mountains in Southeast Asia, used by the United Nations, by mining companies, by aid organizations, in places where the nearest mechanic is a 3-day walk away, and it just keeps showing up for work the next morning like nothing happened. Ladies and gentlemen, meet the 2012 Mitsubishi L200. Known in some parts of the world as the Triton, and in every part of the world as the truck that simply does not understand the concept of quitting. Now here's what's wild. Most people scrolling through dealer listings don't even give this thing a second glance. They see the Mitsubishi badge, they think, oh, that's the Eclipse company, that's the Lancer Evo guys, and they keep scrolling toward a Tacoma or a Hilux without realizing they just drove past one of the most capable and undervalued workhorses on 4 wheels. And that's exactly why these are sitting on lots with laughable price tags. Nobody's fighting over them, nobody's bidding them up, and the retirees who've done their homework, they're walking in with cash, shaking hands, and driving away with a truck that could probably survive re-entry from orbit. The 2012 L200 sits in the 4th generation, which Mitsubishi launched in 2005 and refined relentlessly over the years. By 2012, this platform was mature, tested, and globally proven. We're talking millions of units sold across over 150 countries. That's not a typo. While some trucks are designed primarily for smooth highways and suburban driveways, the L200 was engineered from day one to handle the absolute worst roads on planet Earth, and then ask for seconds. The backbone of this thing is a ladder frame chassis built with high tensile steel, and Mitsubishi gave it a double wishbone front suspension paired with a multi-link rear setup that somehow manages to feel composed on tarmac while being genuinely capable when the road disappears entirely. It's a strange trick. Most trucks pick one or the other. The L200 just shrugs and does both. Under the hood, the 2012 model typically comes with the 2.5-liter 4D56 turbo diesel engine. And if you know that engine code, you already know where this is going. The 4D56 is one of the most produced and most proven diesel engines in automotive history. It's been around in various forms since the 1980s, and Mitsubishi has refined it so many times that by 2012, it was putting out around 175 horsepower and over 250 pound-feet of torque. Numbers that don't sound flashy on paper, but feel absolutely relentless in practice. This engine doesn't care about your RPM preferences, it just delivers torque from practically idle all the way through the band, which means towing, hauling, climbing, it all happens with the kind of calm confidence that makes you wonder if the engine even noticed the load. And fuel economy? For a body-on-frame truck with genuine off-road credentials, the L200 sips diesel like a gentleman at afternoon tea. You're looking at combined figures that would make a V8 owner weep into their fuel receipt. The Super Select 4-wheel drive system is where this truck genuinely separates itself from the pack. Most trucks in this class give you part-time 4-wheel drive,
meaning you can use it off-road, but on dry pavement, you'd better switch back to two-wheel drive or risk damaging the drivetrain. The L200's Super Select system lets you run in four-wheel drive on any surface, anytime, any speed. It's essentially the same technology Mitsubishi perfected in the Pajero and the rally-bred Lancer Evolution, scaled up for a working truck. You get two-wheel drive high, four-wheel drive high with locked center differential, and four-wheel drive low. That's 4 modes of go-anywhere capability wrapped in a system so intuitive you can switch it on the fly with a single lever. Try that in most competitors and your transfer case will send you a resignation letter. Now here's why these are absolute bargains right now. The L200 doesn't carry the brand cachet of a Toyota or Ford in the resale market, and that's purely a perception game, not a quality game. Mitsubishi's marketing budget is basically pocket change compared to the big players, so fewer people think of the L200 when they think truck. But mechanically, pound for pound, dollar for dollar, this truck punches so far above its weight class it should be illegal. The parts are affordable, the mechanicals are straightforward, and the global popularity means there's a massive community of owners, forums, and aftermarket support if you ever need anything. But, of course, I have to keep it real with you. Here's what to inspect before you hand over your money. Number 1, the 4D56 engine is tough, but it has a known weak spot, the balance shafts. On higher mileage examples, the balance shaft bearings can wear, and if ignored, it leads to catastrophic engine damage. Some owners preemptively delete the balance shafts entirely, which is a common and well-documented fix, so ask whether it's been done. If it hasn't, factor that into your negotiation. Number 2, check the turbocharger. The variable geometry turbo on these engines can develop sticking vanes if the truck was used for lots of short trips and never properly warmed up. A boost gauge test, or even a spirited test drive uphill, will tell you if the turbo is responding correctly. Number 3, rust. And I don't mean surface rust, I mean structural rust on the chassis and around the rear leaf spring mounts. Depending on where this truck spent its life, salt exposure can quietly eat into the frame, so get underneath with a flashlight and don't be shy about poking around. Number 4, the clutch and flywheel on manual transmission models. The dual-mass flywheel on the L200 is a known service item, and if you feel any shudder or vibration when pulling away in first gear, that's your wallet talking to you. Make sure you listen. All that said, for under $6,000, sometimes well under, you're getting a globally battle-tested, diesel-powered four-wheel drive truck with a drivetrain borrowed from rally legends and a reputation forged in the harshest environments on the planet. The retirees buying these aren't just being smart, they're being brilliant. They know this truck will haul their boat, survive every winter, and still be running when the next generation starts learning to drive. But hold on, because our third and final truck on this list might just be the most surprising one yet. And trust me, you're going to want to hear this.
Alright, if you've made it this far, you already know we've covered an American legend and a globe-trotting diesel warrior. But this last one? This is the truck that made the entire world redefine what indestructible actually means. And I'm not exaggerating even a little bit. A British television show once drowned one of these in the ocean, left it on a beach for hours as the tide swallowed it whole, pulled it out, and started it up with basic hand tools. They then strapped it to the roof of a building, demolished the building with controlled explosives, dragged it out of the rubble, and, you guessed it, it started right back up. They literally tried to kill it on international television and failed, repeatedly. The 2010 Toyota Hilux doesn't just belong on this list. In many ways, this truck invented the list. The 2010 model sits in the 7th generation, which Toyota launched in 2004 and built on the IMV platform, the same architecture that underpins the Fortuner and the Land Cruiser Prado. That's not a coincidence. That's Toyota telling you exactly how serious they are about this truck's DNA. The platform was designed from scratch for global markets where failure isn't an inconvenience, it's a survival problem. We're talking cattle stations in the outback, where the nearest town is 4 hours away, construction sites in the Middle East where temperatures melt dashboards for breakfast, and mountain passes in South America where one mechanical hiccup means you're not coming home tonight.
Toyota built the Hilux for all of it. And by 2010, 6 years into this generation, every single weak point had been identified, addressed, and eliminated. What you're left with is essentially a truck that Toyota spent half a decade perfecting and then quietly left on dealer lots for someone clever enough to notice. The engine lineup is where this truck earns its legendary status. The 2.5-liter 2KD FTV and the 3-liter 1KD FTV turbo diesels are among the most reliable power plants Toyota has ever bolted into anything. And considering Toyota's track record, that sentence carries an almost absurd amount of weight. The 3-liter in particular produces around 170 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque, delivered with the kind of smooth, unshakable consistency that makes you forget you're driving a machine with moving parts. These engines don't have dramatic power curves or turbo fireworks. They just work every single time for hundreds of thousands of miles, asking for nothing more than clean oil and a filter change. If reliability were a religion, the 1KD would be the temple. The 5-speed automatic and 5-speed manual transmissions available in 2010 are both proven units with a reputation for shifting without drama and lasting without intervention. The part-time 4-wheel drive system uses a traditional transfer case that's mechanically simple and virtually bulletproof. No fancy electronics to glitch, no software updates needed. Just a lever and a set of gears that do exactly what you tell them to do. The rear axle runs a solid live setup with leaf springs, which might sound old school until you realize that old school is exactly why this truck can carry a full payload over terrible roads without flinching. Sometimes the best technology is the kind that was already perfect 50 years ago. Now, buying advice, because even a Hilux deserves a proper inspection. First, the injectors on the diesel models. Toyota's D4D system is excellent, but high-mileage examples can develop injector seal leaks, which you'll spot as a faint diesel smell around the injector wells. It's fixable, but it's a negotiation point. Second, the turbocharger on the 3-liter diesel can develop issues if the previous owner had the habit of shutting the engine off immediately after hard driving, instead of letting it idle for a minute to cool the turbo down. Ask about driving habits, and if possible, check for any shaft play in the turbo during inspection. Third, look at the leaf springs in the rear. Heavily loaded Hiluxes can develop sagging springs over time, and while replacement is straightforward, it tells you a lot about how hard the truck was worked. And fourth, the one thing every Hilux buyer should check without exception: rust on the chassis rails, particularly around the rear crossmembers and where the body mounts to the frame. A Hilux engine will outlive the frame if corrosion goes unchecked, and that's a tragedy no one should have to witness. Here's the truth though. Finding a 2010 Hilux under $6,000 might require a bit of patience, because even at this age, these trucks hold value like gold bars with wheels. But they do pop up, especially higher mileage examples that scare off people who don't understand that 200,000 miles on a Hilux is basically the break-in period. The retirees scooping these up know something the rest of the market hasn't figured out yet. A high-mileage Hilux with service records is worth more than a low-mileage question mark from any other brand. Full stop.
And that, my friends, wraps up our 3 unkillable trucks that are quietly being snatched off dealer lots by the smartest buyers in the room. We've got the American muscle of the F-150, the globe-trotting grit of the Mitsubishi L200, and the truck that literally survived being blown up on television, the Toyota Hilux. 3 trucks, 3 philosophies, one thing in common: they absolutely refuse to quit. And right now, they're all sitting under $6,000, waiting for someone smart enough to grab them. So here's my question for you. Which one would you pick? Drop it in the comments. I genuinely want to know. And don't be shy about telling me I'm wrong, because that's where the best conversations happen. If this video saved you from overpaying for a newer truck that does half of what these legends do, smash that like button. It takes half a second, and it helps this channel more than you know. And if you're not subscribed yet, what are you even doing? Hit subscribe, turn on the bell, because we've got a lot more videos like this coming. Trucks, hidden deals, and cars that the market is sleeping on while the smart money moves in silence. I'll see you in the next one.